For this video, we are going to be discussing percent change. So we've discussed how to solve percent problems using proportions before, and now we're going to be able to figure out, or we're going to be able to use proportions to find the percent change between numbers. For example, if I asked you if I had 50, if I went from 50 to 70, and I ask you what the percent change is from 50 to 70, I can use this proportion right here to figure out the percent change from here to here. And what we're going to do this is we're going to take our new value, so in this case that would be like 70. We're going to subtract our old value, in this case 50. We're going to divide that by the old value, 50 again, and that's going to equal our percent over 100. All right, we're trying to figure out what percent of our original value is the change. So if we did this one, well, 70 minus 50, that's 20 over 50 equals, we don't know what the percent is, so that's x over 100. Well, now I say, well, 20 times 100 is 2,000, and that equals 50x. Divide both sides by 50, and we get x equals 40%. All right, so this is how we're going to do these sort of problems. We're going to use this same proportion every time. So our procedure is simple. We're going to plug our values into the proportion, new minus old over old equals the percent over 100. We're going to plug our values in there. We're going to subtract our old value from our new value, solve our proportion. If our answer is negative, then it's a decrease, and if our answer is positive, then it's an increase. So for example, we get an answer of negative 20. When we write our answer, we're not going to say it's negative 20. We're going to say that this is a 20% decrease. If I get an answer of positive 300, well, then I'm going to say that's a 300% increase. All right, negative answers are decreases, positive answers are increases. We're never going to put the negative number on our final answer. So let's try some examples. Example 1 says, find the percent change from 35 to 42. So we're going from 35 and we're going to 42. So 35, that's our old value. 42, that's our new value. So when we set up our proportion, we know our proportion is new value minus old value divided by my old value equals a percent over 100. Plugging numbers in from this problem, we know our old value is 35. So these two numbers should always be the same, old, old. Our new value is 42. And we don't know what the percent is, so that's what we're solving for. All right, our next step is to do this subtraction. 42 minus 35 is 7. So I get 7 over 35 equals x over 100. Now you know that we want to cross multiply. I get 35, or 700, 7 times 100 is 700, equals 35x. Divide both sides by 35, and I get 20%. So this is a 20% increase. Because this is positive, our new number is bigger than our old number, so we're increasing. So it says we're going up by 20%. Another way we could test this is we could say 0.2, that's 20%, times 35. And if you do that, you get 7, which is the difference there. So the answer is a 20% increase. Example 2 says, last year Ripon had 1,200 students. This year there are 1,140 students. What was the percent change? All right, so we're trying to figure out what was the percent change from last year to this year. Well, 1,200, that's last year. That's our old value. 1,140, that's this year. That's our new value. So we know here's our general proportion. New minus old over old equals percent over 100. New value is 1,140. Old value is 1,200. Don't know our percent, so that's x. If I do 1,140 divided by 1,200, I get negative 60. Now we can see the negative here, so we know we're going to have a negative answer, so we know that this is a decrease, which makes sense because the population went down. Do our cross multiplying. 100 times negative 60 is negative 6,000. 1,200 times x is 1,200. Divide both sides by 1,200. And we get an answer of negative 5%. Or we're going to say that is a, for our final answer, we're not going to put that negative. We're just going to say that it is a 5% decrease because the population went down from last year to this year. All right, so all we do, plug in our new value and our old value, work out the proportion, and we get a 5% decrease. Now, example 3 is a little different. It says last year Nike had profits of $560 million. This year, profits increased by 40%. What were Nike's profits this year? Well, last year, $560 million, that's the old value. We know the percent, and it's asking us what were Nike's profits this year. Which means if we set up our proportion, we know our old value is 560. We know our percent is 40, but we don't know what our new value is. So we need to figure that out. So how do we do that? Well, we're going to cross multiply. 100 times x minus 560 is just that, 100 times x minus 560. 560 times 40 is 22,400. Now you should know I have to distribute 100 times x and 100 times 560, which gives me 100x minus 56,000 equals 2,240. Add 56,000 on both sides. Another 0. I get 100. I know I have that up there twice. Don't need this one in here. I get 100x equals 784,000. Divide both sides by 100. I get an answer of 784. Now remember, this was in terms of millions, so my answer is $784 million. So Nike's profits for this year were $784 million. So all I did is I plugged what I knew into this equation and solved for the one value that I didn't, and I got $784 million. So here's your try it problem for tonight. It says 20,000 people attended the Capitals game on December 2nd. 20,600 people attended the game on December 4th. What was the percent change between the two games? So you need to try this problem and bring it into class tomorrow.